Hi guys, welcome back to K-Pop Talks. I'm your host. Today we're doing the list of the best K-pop albums of June 2024. This video is coming out a little bit later. We're almost at the end of July, but my schedule was kind of hectic, so I couldn't really keep up, even though I was able to do that for a little bit. So let's get right into it. We have a little bit of music to talk about, not that much. There wasn't a lot of albums that came out during this month, and there were definitely not enough albums that I think were incredible. But there's definitely some interesting things to talk about, certain surprises, certain stables, at least for me, when it comes to my personal album reviews. First and foremost, we're gonna start with Akmu, obviously with Love Episode. This is their first EP, I think, in a long time, I'm pretty sure, because normally they don't really release a lot of projects. And again, this is everything we love about Akmu. Fun, great vocals, super interesting productions. They're never boring, they're never dull. They can always surprise you a little bit, even with their single tracks, their super popular tracks. Yeah, they're similar, they have a style, but they don't necessarily try to abuse that into making every single song like that. They're very unique in the way they approach whatever they want to do. So for me, I think they're a fantastic group, and I think they're one of these stable groups that everybody has to listen to their catalog and realize why Akmu is one of the most important acts in Korean music history, and why probably they're the best success story that came out from a survival music show. And you can say all things about YG as a company, as a man, but they've dealt with Akmu perfectly. They've allowed them to be themselves full on throughout their careers, and it repaid immensely. So again, they're super consistent, and that's what we love about them. Next we have Kepler with keep going on. I think that this is for the last project. It's actually good. I wish they would have kept this kind of consistency earlier in their existence, but that was one of the issues with Kepler. Very similar to NMIX, on those type of groups that were really hyped up during that November-December of 2022. They came out and they just didn't feel like anything. And now they've developed a style, and you can hear it in their single and stuff like that, and even in this project. It's not amazing, but I think it's important to talk about Kepler, not only in a positive light because they deserve it, because this album really ends, I think, a very interesting career existence of this group, and in a very good note, considering how bad I think it started in certain aspects of it, from the way the group was created and all the different things that were happening with Eminem at the time and blah blah. But let's not talk about other things instead of the music. The songs are fun, they're catchy, and the production is overall okay. And the best part is the girls, and that's something I think the company didn't really get for a good part of this group existence. They were trying to push certain members too much, and others members almost nothing at all, to the point that it was obvious they were trying to push the marketing aspect. I had my beard. So up the how do you call it? So up to the point that it was very hard to look at it and be like, yeah, they're trying to do the best for these girls. They were doing the best for themselves. And again, it's very interesting to me, as I keep saying, that after 101 and IOI, there is no any sort of this type of hyper success stories, because even if you look at IDZON, again, we go back, if you're not in IVE or in Le Seraphim, you're not doing that great in your career. And you can't say the same thing about 101 and IOI. And every other group after that, it has been in a certain way worse. So I feel bad for these girls to a certain extent, because of the way this show was run and everything, and how much these shows exist, to the point that the market's saturated and you don't even have time to actually enjoy a certain group that another one debuts, or they already announced another show by the time this group is gonna end. So it gets to a point where we're just chasing and you're not really enjoying the process, I think, which was, I think, something that was really amazing about the original produced concept, and why they were so successful in the first place, even though they were fresh and everything. Next we have Journey with Dopamine. Now this is one of the biggest surprises for me of the year. I've always enjoyed Journey's music. He was never one of my favorite artists or anything like that. He was good, I knew he was good, but he wasn't a guy that I would go back to his music that much. But with this project, I have to say, I don't know what it is that is different. Maybe there's nothing different, but at a personal level, I feel like it hits much better. So in a way, I want to go back, check his earlier stuff to see if it is actually different. But just going off of my personal right now memory, it feels different. Not necessarily only the production, he feels better, he's singing better. The way he's on a track, it's much better. His personality, I think, shines much more. His strength shines much more, and the features are very good. Bobby, Soda, for example, that the only two features on this album, are very good, and they enhance the track, and he doesn't look bad on that, which is good. And I think that instability, or that weird like trying to be R&B but not really being able to phase they was going through, I think he has surpassed that. Again, I'll go back and check his earlier stuff, but I don't remember him being this good, so I'll go check and see if I was necessarily wrong. Next we have, obviously, as I've called that before, Rise with their first mini album, Rising. Again, Rise is easily the best K-pop rookie group of this year, in my opinion. They have the most fun, the most varied music. They can do so many different things so well, and at this one the discography is very consistent. This group much follows the Red Velvet FX type of pipeline of the way they approach music, which is approach it from a qualitative standpoint and a uniqueness standpoint, instead of, oh look, we're gonna go with the super popular style of music, which is something that they used to do even with EXO, and obviously aespa is an example more recently that people know what that we're talking about. NCT when they debuted, they had no intention of doing that with Rising. They're going in a completely different direction. I think it's showing, and I think it's paying off. They're never gonna be the most popular K-pop group, but they'll always be relevant. 100%. They always make great music, and they always make me want to be like, oh, let me check Rise 5, 6, 10 years from now, when I'm gonna be much older. So that's something I think is amazing about this group. They never feel boring, and on top of never feeling boring, they never feel like dull or specifically generic, which I think is very important. And to be able to not be generic in this fucking genre in 2024 in itself, I think it's a miracle. So one of the best projects of the year easily, and one of the best collections of singles for a rookie group that I probably would say since maybe NCT first year. Maybe you would go back to like even Blackpink. Like this type of groups like had insane rookie seasons that I remember from all these years. You could say IVE maybe, but I was good, but it wasn't fantastic or anything like that. New Jeans would be a great example from a couple of years ago. I forgot about that, so I would say New Jeans. So since New Jeans, we have Rise now, so it's nice to see these newer K-pop groups coming out and actually feeling different, which I think it's pretty fucking dope as far as I'm concerned. Next we have Haiki with Love or Hate. It's only 4 songs, but I think I have to shout it out. It's very good. Haiki is one of the best things we have right now in K-pop. It's a fun little short EP that reminds you how much at certain time these groups can be very popular in YouTube, on Twitter. They get all these shares, all these likes, all these views, but then nobody really listens to their music. Because if I go look at their last project, their single has 500,000 plays, and then no other the other 3 songs go over 100,000. But if you go on Twitter, they get 10,000 likes, 1 million views, more, because unfortunately K-pop fans are very superficial and they're liars a lot of the time. So definitely go and support Haiki, because they're one of the best things we have right now in K-pop, and they deserve to exist in this industry. Next, we have Epic High with Pump. This is an example what Epic High does for me that I think it's actually interesting. They're still doing their own style. They didn't necessarily go different from what they were doing, but they approached it a little bit different from the way they normally do. I think first of all, it's much more laid back in the way they're rapping. It doesn't feel as much they're trying to be overly preachy and stuff like that. Not even preachy, I would say overly like dramatic. I would find that that's something that they used to do a lot until previous this project. This song has freestyles, it has bangers, it has more laid back classic Epic High style song, but they're not trying to like just do one style of music and check out of the others. Now people would say, well, but even in their previous projects they're like this. Yes, but it's one thing when it's 9 songs and they're relatively short and you can clearly tell it's more of a fun type of thing. It's just called Pump. It doesn't have some sort of like insanely like, because I'll just give you an example of what I mean. Okay, so I go for their albums. This album is called Pump. The reason is called Epic High is Here Part 2, which is 12 songs. They're much longer. They have in general more serious themes. You're gonna look Epic High is Here Part 1, similar concept, huge names, for example. On this project, I think there's only Kim Jong-un from Nell. That's it. There's nobody else on this project. So it's obviously they're approaching a much more different way, and they're not trying to make it into this super popular thing by getting a BTS member, another famous idol, another famous rapper. They're just doing something different. I think in this project it really paid in my opinion, very well, delivering one of the most fun hip-hop projects of the year for this country. So that's what I think about it. Another album I've got to talk about is Lee Young-ji with 16 Fantasy. I'm pretty sure she's 18, but regardless, I always forget she's super fucking young, because originally when she got really popular was because of High School Rapper, and she was like 13 or something. But this project really shows, I think, her growth, much more secure in her own voice, in her concepts, the way she approaches songs. The title track is great, and even one of my favorites, actually, My Cat and Tell Me, they're amazing. Her vocals are getting so much better, and her rapping is as sharp as ever. She doesn't rap as much on this project, in my opinion, but it's still there a little bit, and you can clearly feel it while you listen to it. And again, I think she knows deep down that when she went to Show Me the Money, she was gonna win by default, considering how popular she was at that point in Korea compared to a lot of the other artists that will go to that show. But she is very good. She's good like that, and I think that regardless of her success and stuff like that, you know, if she went to any other, she would have definitely went very deep. Maybe she would have not won, but she would have went deep, and she would have gotten successful regardless. But it's undeniable, and she even knows that, because she ended up donating all that money. That, yeah, I mean, I won that show because I used to do shows with Blackpink members, BTS members, 17 members, and those fandoms that watch this show, they're gonna vote for me and not for the other guy, even though his song is better, you know. So I think it's an interesting thought for her, and I think in this album she went back to her roots to make her own style of music. She has a song with the super popular K-pop idol, but it's a very good song. She wasn't just going for like, oh, let's get the name so we can get the views, which I appreciate, in my opinion. Next we have Red Velvet with Cosmic. I still think Red Velvet is one of the most consistent groups ever. Again, they released another very good album, front to back, very fun production, interesting, ethereal, super catchy, and it's much shorter than their previous albums, don't get me wrong, but Cosmic is a great single. I think it's probably one of the more interesting original singles, probably since the original Bad Boy, where they were really trying to go in a completely different direction than their previous discography, and I think they've done this here. You can say Psycho, but Psycho is a continuation of that style that they've gotten from the original Bad Boy song. But the entire project is great. It's 20-ish minutes, it flows perfectly, the vocals are incredible. I mean, this group's such a well-oiled machine in the positive sense of the world, that they can actually get any song perfectly from a vocal to a tone standpoint. The harmonies are great, everything is perfect. Like, they really are extremely professional at this point. They're perfect professionals in every single way. So it's one of my favorite albums, and as always, it's very rare for me to really dislike the Red Velvet project. I would say that out of the 10 albums they released, or whatever that is, probably only one I didn't really like that much, and even that was actually a solid project, you know. So it's still one of the better albums of this year, 100% for me. Last one we have Nam Woo-yeon with Sunshine, the Special Present for Y3, which is a live version of this project. Honestly, it's one of the better live version projects I've heard, honestly. He sounds great, the vocals are very good, they're clean, they're live, which is the most important thing, and overall it's an enjoyable project to listen to. Definitely the live element adds a more fun listen. I would like to shout out just for that. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite albums of the month, but I think for a live project, if you're into live projects in K-pop, it's definitely one of the better ones you can find out there. And this was it for the best albums of June 2024. I've been very late with the project, with the video. My bad, guys. Hopefully from now on you'll be able to enjoy more projects from me. This is it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll probably start streaming this week, and I'll be streaming regularly every day. I don't know when. I think the hours will vary during the day, maybe 1 or 2 hours on this channel, the Kpop Talk channel. We're gonna talk about the news, we're gonna talk about the songs. I don't know if you can really hear the songs on YouTube, probably not. I might hear them and remove the audio while I listen to them on stream. Still doesn't change the fact that I think overall it's been a great month for albums for me, even there's been stuff that I don't like, which you're gonna see in the other video, which is the worst albums of this month, but which is June obviously. I just think it's been very good, a lot of variation, a lot of artists that have done much better than I thought, and a lot of artists that I'm really hyped to see where they can go from now on. So thank you guys for watching, leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe, and see you with the next video. Goodbye.